Well, I'm going to begin, Nabhaan, about asking about, obviously what it was that attracted you initially to getting involved in Mogul Mowgli.
Okay, so you know, you get an audition and you get the script, but you get like a little description, and you know, straight away, like playing a rapper was something that was enticing. You know, being that I rap, and you know, I'd love for the worlds to meet, and that hadn't happened, you know, so far at that point. And then you see, you know, Riz's name attached to the project, and he's someone that I knew and I was in touch with. And you go, great, let's check it out. And the script was awesome. I hadn't read anything like it. And I had a gut feeling that I kind of had free reign to collaborate with these guys in a way that is rare in film, being that film and TV is such a big process that involves so many people. And my instinct was right. You know, as soon as I auditioned and started chatting to the guys, they kind of let me put my spin on it and put all these suggestions forward, and it just made it fun. And I think it just made the whole film feel more like full and like full of soul. So yeah, that was my first experience with the script.
Yeah, because I love the film. I saw it back at the Berlin Film Festival
Mm,
earlier this year, back when I was allowed to to roam free around the world, and
yeah.
it's stuck with me so much since then. I just wondered if you've had the chance to see it on the big screen, and if so, what that experience was like for you, because it's one of those films that just you're just so absorbed in it from the moment it starts.
Yeah, yeah, completely. And you just go wherever it takes you. And even more is the case, you know, on the big screen. And I saw it in Berlin as well for the first time. They sent the link over, but I just wanted to watch it for the first time, like with all my people in the cast there, and like it really, you know, people say like it's like a family, like on every job. Like, nah, this was actually like that, and just being on that red carpet with everyone and like just feeling proud, you know, it's something I never felt before. So yeah, that was Berlin was really special, and you know, I'm gonna be at the festival tomorrow as well. You know, just as proud. So watching it on the big screen is definitely very immersive, and it's such a personal story. Yet it comes across really, really nicely.
Hmm. Did you go to the after party in Berlin?
I did. I DJ'd the after party.
Oh yeah, I was there. Oh, that's also what I was about to say. I was shacking out on the dance floor, which means I was shacking out to your tunes, which is quite good.
There you go. There you go. That was me.
Yeah, no, that was a good night. A late night as well. So I'm wondering about working with Riz, because he is, because I've had the play, I've met him before, and he's a very congenial person, very kind of accessible. But I
Mm,
gather, just when this is maybe just a guess, but because he puts so much into his characters
yeah.
on set, is he one of those people that's just very much in the zone? And what's he like to collaborate with? And to,
Nah. Riz on set was like, come on, bro, have a seat. You know, he was just like so like just welcoming and just making sure I'm comfortable, and like, you know, just we'd have a laugh, we'd have a chat, and it always felt like home. And that's such a weird thing because like, you know, film sets never feel like that. And he really, him and Bassam, you know, made an extra effort, you know, in spite of the fact that they were so deep into such a personal story, you know, but they made everyone feel just as part of it. And we really feel a part of this film, you know, everyone. So he was great. And you know, the way he gets into it, you know, once the camera's on is, you know, people think he's incredibly cerebral because of how like intelligent and eloquent he is when he speaks. But you know, like he's a true artist as well. And I think, you know, she's shown that in the last few projects, and he's pushed it further out with this one than I think personally anything that he's done. So yeah, he was incredible to work with and learn from.
and so talk to me about your own. You said you sort of rap. So is that something you've been doing for a long time?
Yeah. You know, I've been rapping and making music and making beats for a long time. And yeah, I just released my debut EP, which is self-produced, this year. So, you know, putting that out was a big thing. And, you know, it was interesting to marry the two worlds of acting and making music. And it was always a sort of dream of mine that I thought would happen 20 years down the line. But, you know, it happened, and it happened with Riz and Bassam. And I'm just so happy, you know, it happened with them guys. Albeit, I mean, like RPG music is nothing like my music. So rest assured. But you know, it's just good to move in a musical space and like record songs for a movie, you know.
Yeah. So what is your stuff? So what does it sound like?
My stuff's like, you know, I rap over a lot of like old samples from like film soundtracks and stuff. So I try and incorporate that and try and incorporate some literature in the way I rap as well. So.
Oh, nice. I'll check it out. But one of the themes in this as well is the idea of representing not just yourself on the world stage, but representing your community on the world stage. That's something obviously that I think Riz's character is kind of going through in the movie. I'm just wondering if that's something you can resonate with as quite a really up and coming, quite a successful actor, you know, off the back of the kind of the work you've done so far. I just wondered if that's something that if that's something you can resonate with at all.
Yeah, totally. You know, it's definitely starting to come up, and it's certainly something you're faced with when you're a kind of prodigious or like artist that people look to. And there's a sort of position that you assume sort of automatically, whereby you're expected to be a spokesperson for particular groups of people. So and that's okay. And many people take that on and you know, are public about that, and that's great. But I think this film, you meet Zed, the main character, at the point where he's represented his people. Like he's feeling like he's represented his people his whole career. And the thing that he can't do, funnily enough, is represent himself or even like be himself, you know, at the same time. So I think that's something that's hard to do, you know, those two things at once. It's very easy to represent. It's almost harder to be your true self to people.
And I mean, the British Asian experience, British Asian culture has been represented on screen many times before. But when I was kind of growing up, it was done in almost quite overt, kind of cinematic and comedic ways. East is East, or Bend It Like Beckham.
Yeah.
Do you think now with films like Mogul Mowgli, we're seeing a more authentic look into that community and also just into London life in general?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, you're seeing the pain. You know, there's a lot of immigrant families, you know, from all over the world that come to live in the West, and the pain is forgotten that they had to endure or that their ancestors had to endure. This faces that, you know, when we kind of forget about that, and then it's kind of presented to you all in one go, and it's too much to handle. So yeah, I think it's more honest, and you know, like everything's important, and there should be space for everything. Every kind of portrayal, and we'll have a dialogue about it. You know, if stuff's not right, you know, if stuff's not being represented in the right way, you'll hear from it. You know, the Twitter people will be quick to tell you. But I think everything is important to make. You know, the whole spectrum. We need that, and this film is definitely a proponent of that.
And just to go back to look at the Informer, because I just wondered how much that just changed everything for you, because, and I'm not denying your talent and your hard work and your grafting and how deserving you were to get that role, but does it feel sometimes in this industry that you just need someone just to take that chance, to take that gamble on you, to give you that just to show the world kind of what you can do? Because I guess there's a lot of other talented actors out there that still haven't had that call to say you've got this part, so you must be so thankful that you were given that opportunity with that series.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, man. Like I really do, you know, pinch myself, and I, you know, having the upbringing that I had, I definitely believe that, you know, talent or skill or hard work is definitely widespread. Opportunity sometimes isn't. So we want to create a world, at least in the arts, you know, which is what we can control, whereby more people are given that opportunity, and where, you know, equality is more achievable. So yeah, absolutely lucky, fortunate, and just want to pass that on. You know, Riz is someone who is great for that, because, you know, in many ways the film is about like being the guy, but also just, you know, passing on the baton. So, you know, he does that in real life, and you'll see his character kind of struggle with that, you know, like that mental gymnastics of doing that in the film. So yeah,
you've got some exciting projects lined up as well. I just wanted to talk about Station 11, the
Yeah,
sci-fi series, because going on for what I've read about it, it's about people rebuilding their life off the back of a pandemic. So it feels quite a relevant series. What can you tell me about your character and how he fits into that show?
Yeah, so my character, Frank Chowdhury, I play a journalist who, at the time of when the pandemic is realized, is in a really tall luxury tower, like writing someone's autobiography in this kind of like hermit lifestyle, when he's confronted by his brother, his older, less successful brother, who comes to the door and with a girl he's rescued, and they just kind of have to quarantine. But like, it happened much quicker than in the story. It happens much quicker than, say, COVID-19. Even though it felt quick, like in the story, it's, oh, the Georgia flu is happening right now. Like today, we need to quarantine. So, yeah. So it's all about staying in that apartment and trying to stay sane and trying to stay alive.
Yeah, I can resonate with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but how has the last few months been for you, from a creative point of view? I mean, obviously you've got your music as well, but a lot of actors have been using this chance to just spend some time at home, because obviously there's what your work entails usually is traveling all over the world for festivals, to be on location. Have you used this chance for a bit of downtime? Have you been quite creative in the last few months as well?
Yeah, I mean, generally speaking, as a whole, it's been a really tough time for people. And I think it's important to acknowledge that. I think purely creatively, it's been great. It's been great. And there's this whole, gold mine that I've been able to discover of things that I needed to watch, things that I need to read, going back, watching old films, reading old books, and just kind of being re-inspired, revisiting like my favorite stuff as well. And then generating, that's been a big part of it as well, with the music and, just rereading scripts, and the old script comes through and we read that, so the work is every day. The work is very small steps, but it allowed me to re-enter into that routine, and it's been really resourceful for a lot of artists.
And because I was looking up other stuff you've got coming up. Is it Last Letter from Your Lover? Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, which is a romantic drama with Felicity Jones and many other great people. Just wondering about how important it is, you think, at this stage in your career to try your hand in a few different genres and different types of movies, to kind of show off your range. Because I guess it's so easy when any actor comes into the industry to make one type of thing, and people go, right, we're going to give you more roles or more scripts based on that. But it feels like everything you're doing at the moment is so different from the last. Is that a kind of conscious decision on your part?
I mean, yes and no. I always look up to artists that, constantly change. It's like your favorite artist might make one album and then the next is like wildly different. Some people hate that. I, most of the time, like love that. And I'm always interested in the evolution. And then at the same time, in terms of that stuff coming through, I think there's a plethora of things, in terms of like different styles and textures. So yeah, it's been a bit of both, and it's kind of naturally gone on that course. So yeah, it's nice. It's nice to change. It's nice to change your look. It's nice to change what you do. It's healthy.
Yeah, brilliant. Well, thank you so much for the time, Sid. It's been a real pleasure speaking to you, and best of luck with this movie and the rapping and all the other stuff you've got coming up.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys.
Hey You Guys, huh?
Hey, you guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yeah.
Nice.
Hey,